Good morning, I'm Jessica Lovell, and welcome to a very special edition of the Morning Medical Update, because we are live here in Overland Park at the Sports Medicine and Performance Center. And we've talked many times on this program about using movement as medicine. We've talked about it, but today we're going to show you, and we're going to show you in a way that doesn't require any equipment. It doesn't require any weights. We're going to try to make it as easy as possible, where you can do it anywhere at any time. And for that, we've brought in our experts. Today we have Kelsey Inget and we have Roger Allen. So good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good to see you both. Okay. So we have our fitness experts, and now we have our infectious disease expert, pseudo-fitness expert, Dr. Hawkinson. No secret if you watch our program that, well, you know, this guy's into working out. Viewers often see him jogging around town, right? You're at the gym all the time.
Yeah. Early today as well.
Early today. So
yep.
Tell me you haven't done any physical exercise today, because we're going to put you through the ringer.
Right. I did not wake up at 5 to do any exercise.
Okay.
So I've been just waiting for this.
You've been waiting.
Yes.
Okay. Do you use body weight exercise sometimes? I know you go to the gym and you hit the weights, but like when you're out and, you know, maybe you're out of town or you're at home, do you do that just to stay mobile and, you know, flexible?
I do on rest days for stretching, but also on my runs. Sometimes we'll do push-ups, sit-ups, other isolated leg or arm exercises as well.
Are you glad that I volunteered you to do this today?
Yeah, this will be good.
Okay,
and
good.
It's nice out, so that's even better.
Perfect. I'll be here to cheer you on. Make sure you're doing it right. Roger, you know, we talk about using our body weight as exercise. What does that really mean, and what's the true benefit of that?
So we need our body to move, and so therefore using your body weight and doing body weight exercises improves your muscle mass when it comes to your muscle functionality through all planes of movement. And over time, you're going to actually see some gains. Now, you're not going to get huge off of it, but when it comes to being able to move through this world properly, you're going to actually feel it more than see it, and then eventually start to see those results.
Well, and again, you don't have to hop in the car and come to the gym, except you two, you come here for work. So you make it really easy on yourself. But the idea that you can do it anytime, anywhere, that's kind of key, right, Kelsey?
Sure, it just takes out one of the barriers that a lot of people have is, like you said, like, man, I don't have time to get in my car, get to the gym. If you got kids, if you got things going on at home, you can just do it in your living room.
I have no idea. Barriers. Gee, I never have make any excuses. So it's tough. It's tough. Okay, so Roger, we're going to hook up with you outside here in just a moment, and we're going to let Kelsey, you're going to take over and talk about some exercises that Hawk can do. We're going to kind of start out at a low intensity and then kick it up a little bit. So let's talk about the movements that you've chosen. We have a list that we're going to show people, but why should people keep this particular list top of mind?
So this was just kind of a total body workout. So again, if you're just getting started, you're going to hit all your muscle groups in this workout. I like to go from upper body, lower body, core, just because that changes the oxygen demand of where your muscles are working. So you are going to get a better calorie burn as well, without having to do cardio. So this is a great place to start 2 to 3 times a week doing a total body workout.
All right, let's do it.
I'm ready.
All right, I'll let you two take it away.
Okay, so we're going to start very basic. It's going to be very easy for you, but we're going to start here at this chair. So instead of a squat movement when you're just getting started, sometimes the easiest things to do is a sit to stand. So you can do that from your couch, you can do that from a kitchen chair, you can do that from wherever you have at home. Okay. But biggest thing is you're not going to use your hands. So as you just hands across your chest, you're going to squat down, tap your butt, stand back up. Yep. So we're going to do about 10 reps of this today, just talking about form. So we always want to make sure knees stay behind toes, body's lined up. You don't want to sit heavy in the chair. The goal is to control your movement, touching the chair, standing back up, not plopping down. And again, not using your hands to push off your legs as you come up. So perfect form. You're doing great there. Okay, excellent. So that was our lower body. Now we're going to go to upper body. So we're going to start with a wall push-up. Okay. So I know you said you do push-ups. You look like you've done a few push-ups probably in your life here. But the easiest way to start with the push-up, because it is a challenging exercise, is to go up against a wall. So again, here, biggest thing is as you're going down into a push-up, we want to create almost a 90-degree angle right here in this position. So 90-degree angle, that's how wide your hand should be. Yep, just making sure that the body stays nice and tight through the core, not letting the hips kind of sag into the wall. Controlled movement, just like you're doing, not too fast, not too slow.
Kelsey, why is it so important to make sure that you're really taking the time to set up the movement properly? Not just jump in and start moving, but do it right.
Yeah, for sure, because small little changes in how your position is going to change what muscle groups work. It's going to change what load you put on your joints. And so you do want to be in the proper form so that you're working proper muscles and not hurting any joints.
All right, let's work a six-pack. We really need some help on that, so if you could really work that hard.
All right, so we're going to lay down on the floor. We're just going to start out with a basic crunch. So in the crunch position, always want to just make sure to tilt your pelvis so that your back is kind of pressed tight into the floor. There we go. Hands are going to go behind your head. Again, they can go across the chest if that's more comfortable for you, but for a crunch, the biggest thing is you're just going to try to clear up to where the bottom of your shoulder blades are. So just kind of up and down, right to where the shoulder blades come off the floor, keeping that tension through that lower abdomen to keep your low back pressed against the mat.
So do you feel it? Do you feel the burn, Hawk? Or
Yeah, you can feel it in your upper abs and your middle abs on the crunch here. So for sure.
Perfect.
Nobody
You get
likes
some
doing
strain,
abs. Nobody
right?
likes abs. Why do
Nobody
people
likes
hate the abs?
But the biggest thing is if you slow them down and you do them right, you don't need to do as many. I have people like, oh, I do 100 crunches a night and I'm not getting a six-pack. Well, usually our abs are a quick burn muscle group, and so if you're doing 100 abs, at some point you're probably just wasting your time.
Okay,
so,
that is my biggest takeaway right now. I can just cut them in half and just do them right.
right,
Okay.
slow them down, focus on the form.
Okay.
Yep, perfect.
All right, so lower body, upper body, abs. Now what?
Yep, now we're going to go into our round two. So that's going to be a split lunge. So for the split lunge, again, you just kind of want to take a big stride out, and then you're going to just up and down into your lunge form. Now this does challenge balance, so if you are just starting out, you can put your hand against a wall or against a chair if you need to, if you feel unstable in this movement. Same with range of motion. Doc Hawk has a good full range of motion knee to the ground there, but when you're just starting out, if this is bothering your knees or if you feel any tension, you do not have to go into that full deep range of motion. So here again, same thing as squats. We want to make sure that that knee doesn't jut out too far forward. Good, creating that nice, your body weight should be going straight down, so not forward into that front leg, but straight down into that.
And the added benefit of practicing the balance, because that's tough. I usually have to use something.
For sure. I like to incorporate any little bit of balance into everybody's routine, because it, just like anything else, it does get weaker as we get older, and if you don't practice it, it goes away. So.
Yep.
Okay, next we're going to do dips. So we're going to use our chair here for some tricep dips. So, yep, hands will go here. Yep. Perfect. So just like he did here, again, easiest position is to keep your legs bent at a 90-degree angle, because then you can take a little bit of your weight into your legs and it's not just in your arms. Good form here. He's keeping his shoulders relaxed, just pushing out of this tricep muscle in the back of the arm. Yep.
I do this on the side of my bathtub sometimes.
That's perfect. Again, any surface, you just have to make sure that it's not going to like tip over or fall off. But absolutely, I use my coffee table at home to do dips. So, and everybody always wants to ask how do they get rid of that on the back of the arm. So this is it right here.
Now, can you extend your legs too?
Yep. So then again, to make that exercise harder, that's exactly what you would do. Is you would progressionally walk your legs out, and then if you're at Doc Hawk level, you could even put your feet up. So we could put his feet up onto another chair or a surface or a ball. That would make it really challenging for him. But, yep. Perfect.
You feel it?
Yeah. Burns.
Burns. Feel the burn.
Do the burn.
Excellent.
Good.
Okay, so now we're going to go down to planks. So again, planks are a very difficult exercise. So what I'm going to have you do is actually a knee plank first, since we're doing kind of base level. So for a knee plank, you're going to drop to your knees, walk yourself out, down into that forearm position. There we go. And then biggest thing here is to take your hips with you. So a lot of times in clients, what I see as they go down is that their hips stay back and up. So we want to drop the body forward into that nice straight position. And then what I like to tell people is pretend like there's a candle right underneath your stomach and you're sucking in so that your stomach doesn't get burned from that candle. Now, again, because planks are a hard exercise, if you get into this position, you're feeling any tension in your back or anything, you just don't want to hold it as long. So again, some people are like, oh, I do 5-minute planks. Should I do a 1-minute plank? You should do what you can control. And initially that might be a 10-second plank. And that's okay, because again, in the plank, we are not just working the abs, we're working the arms, we're working the legs, we're working a lot of muscle groups. So it is an intense exercise.
Hawk, how long can you hold? What's your longest plank hold?
You know, I'm not very good at planks, just because of my shoulders. There is, increase pressure on the shoulders for sure.
Yeah, okay, so
With
yeah.
him saying that, you can rest for a second so you're not just holding that. But you can also do a straight arm position plank. So with clients that do have shoulder issues, you can hold that into a straight arm position. And that does take some of the tension out of the shoulders to hold like that. And again, you can go down to your knees. He's in a full plank position here. But that is a variation that if getting all the way down onto those forearms is uncomfortable in the shoulders, you can hold just like this.
Yeah, planks aren't easy and you have to work up to them, but there's a lot of variations to them.
Yes, for sure.
That's good.
Excellent.
Doing good, Hawk.
All right.
Okay, we got one more round here.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna pop it up. So this last one we're gonna do is gonna just be a side leg raise. So again, sometimes we forget to move in our lateral plane. Most everything that we do in our daily life is front and back. So it is important to work like the side stabilizer muscles, especially as a runner. I'm sure that you're aware of that. So again, that's just straight out. Yep, under control. So biggest thing here is to try to not counterbalance, try not to lean as you lift that leg out, and then be under control just like you're doing right there. Bring it out, bring it in, set it down, not just wing it out, fall down.
It's definitely a balance exercise.
Yep, so this is another one where we're challenging several different things at one time. Now again, if you needed to, if this is super unstable for you, you can put your hand against a wall or against something to start that progression of being able to stand and balance. If you can't if you can't control that movement,
Because then you're not doing it right and you're not getting the most out of the movement.
Go ahead and
As he's doing some of these exercises, we've got to put him through the test. Is there a way to intensify some of these? Show us maybe some modifications so that we can make them a little bit tougher as people start to get stronger.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the squat is going to be one of our easiest ones that we can modify. So coming from the sit to stand, the next progression would be just to get more range of motion. So having you do a squat body weight without the chair there, and then getting down into a little deeper range of motion. Perfect, that's a good deep squat. Yep, so just progressionally getting away from that chair.
Okay.
Again, functionally working on getting that fuller, deeper range of motion. And then like somebody like Doc Hawk, who's in good shape, we could have him do something like a jump squat. Is going to be a very intense
Let's have him do like, maybe like 50 of them. Let's just do 50 jump squats and then you'll be done.
Finish out the program right here. So jump squat, you're just gonna pop it up, pop it down. Yep.
And any advice for people with bad knees on that? Is it just don't do them at all or just really watch the way you're landing?
So it is a lot about the landing. You want to land softly. You can change the intensity of your jump. So if you're just starting to jump, it can be a smaller jump. You can just barely leave the ground. So like everything in exercise, it's progressional. So. And then I guess the second one we would progress just so you can show off your form is going to be the push-up.
Okay.
So we did our wall push-up first. The second progression would be to come down to the floor and then do a knee push-up. So similar position to the plank, what we just did is to leave your knees, knees on the ground. There you go, go ahead and extend because what we want to do is drop those hips just like we did into the plank. There you go. And now you're going to go ahead and rep out those push-ups. So this would be progression 2 from the wall. And then progression 3 would be something like a full push-up. So go ahead and come all the way into a full push-up.
I always do them on the knees, and I feel like I really get a good workout with them on the knees.
For sure.
So I'm not going to progress to this time, but it's tough. The push-up is a tough move.
It is.
And how far apart are we keeping our arms?
So still the same as the wall, you want to come down to about that 90-degree angle. So when you're in that position right there, we should have about a 90-degree angle. Yep. Now this is for a basic push-up. Again, there's a lot of different types of push-ups. You can do a tricep push-up where your elbows are enclosed. You can modify this a lot, but this is going to be kind of your basic push-up. So there you go. Show it off. Show it off. Excellent.
Perfect. All right. How do you feel?
Good.
Okay. You need some water? You need anything?
Coffee. Always.
You need your coffee? Okay. We'll get you coffee and
Don't
water.
do that when you're exercising, right?
How often do you
No
work
coffee.
out a week? Do you mix it up? You go to the gym? You run? Just when you can? I know you're busy, but
Yeah, when I'm able to. The gym in the morning for weights and usually some cardio in the afternoon.
All right, all right. So something that we did not do because of time, we didn't do a warm-up. But how important is that to make sure that you're optimizing your workout to get that warm-up in? And how long do you have to do it? Is it about what you're doing or how long you're doing it? Your heart rate getting up? What is it?
The benefit of the body weight exercises is because you are not providing a high load to the body, it kind of is a warm-up in and of itself. So if you don't have time to do a 5-minute warm-up of, stretching or active stretching to warm up, just start slower. So you could start with a less intense squat. So maybe you don't go as low with the squat, but by round 2, now you're really getting into it, going deep. Maybe by round 3, you're doing jump squats. So with body weight exercise, it's less important to have that full warm-up because we're not impacting the joints.
But overall warm-ups, is it about getting your heart rate up and warming up your muscles, stretching? Is it all of it?
All of it. So the biggest thing, again, in strength training type exercises is when you're warming up your soft tissues to prepare to take a load of whatever movement you're doing. So it is very important.
Are you warmed up?
Yeah, and I will say I do prefer the spring to fall months, just so you can be outside doing those things.
It's actually enjoyable to be out and running. I know, I always see those people out running at 100 degrees. I'm like, why are you doing that? You don't have to run, you know that, right? No one's making you do that. No one's making you do that. Okay, so we're gonna go outside. That actually was your warm-up, so I hope you're not out of breath. Okay,
I'm ready.
So when they said that Roger is gonna have you do a hill, I was looking out here and I see this hill and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good hill. I could really get a good workout here. But I was wrong. So
this is not the hill.
This is not the hill, my friend.
Okay.
This is not the hill. This is the hill.
That's a little bit more. Are you sure you don't want to do it?
No, I'm good. Like I said, I volunteered you, and I'm here for moral support.
Okay.
Roger, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Okay, so we're going to send Hawk down, but we're talking about incline. It makes sense. I mean, I get winded when I walk upstairs. I get it. It gets your heart rate up. But what's the whole body workout feel when you talk about putting even just a slight incline into your workout?
So, like you mentioned, when you're walking in flat ground, you're usually going to be using your quads primarily, and not as many muscles need to be active whenever you're walking in flat ground. As soon as you start to go up an incline or stairs, now your posterior chain needs to be more involved. Your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves, and your hip flexors are all going to start to work. With that said, the more muscles working, the harder and faster your heart has to beat. The faster your heart beats, the more calories you burn.
Yeah, it's huge on the cardio, great on the muscle building. I think we should just stand here peacefully and let's get Hawk.
I love my job.
All right, it's so nice up here. Why don't you come join us? So he's going to walk first.
Yeah, so first level will be walking uphill. So if you're just starting to introduce hills, I would just go with hill walks. Now, I would find a great hill in your neighborhood. You can find a great hill at a park and just start walking up all the way up to the very top of that hill. Hawk, we're going to make sure we get to the peak of that hill, okay? All right, with that, you see how Hawk picks his knees up nice and high. That's what you really want to focus on. And then, most importantly, I would always walk back down. That's going to be safer on the joints. And it's overall better. You don't want to tumble downhill either.
No.
All right, then over time, if you want to progress it, instead of running down the hill, I would always start to speed up, all right?
Okay, so when I'm on this, like the Stairmaster at the gym, it feels very different. Like I can do that for a while, for like 10 minutes. I walk 3 or 4 flights of stairs at the hospital and I'm so winded I can barely catch my breath. Why does it feel different? It just feels like being outside, using the environment around you for some reason just feels a lot harder. Why is that?
Well, a lot of times it's because when you're walking upstairs, you're trying to get from point A to point B. Whereas when you're on that Stairmaster, you're like, you know what, I'm going to be here for a certain amount of time. So it's more just mindset.
And your mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
you're just trying to traverse to get to the other point. And you're like, why is this taking so long? Why is this hard? Why am I breathing heavy? The other time, you actually came with the mindset of actually working out. So that's really going to be the difference. But when it comes to Stairmaster versus stairs, they're pretty much the same.
You got the music going.
Exactly.
You're ready to go. Okay, so he's going to jog. This is the third. This is the intensity.
Exactly. Now he's going to jog. He's going to continue to pick up his knees up high. He's going to have a slight lean forward, core is tight, swinging his arms. And as he swings those arms, once again, it's going to get more muscles involved, raise his heart rate.
He's not winded at all.
He's not breathing heavy at all. Just because he's in such great shape. All right, give me 10 of these with him. All right, I guarantee I can get his heart rate up.
Okay.
All right, and the last one is
going to walk down.
The last one's going to be the sprint. So, like I said, once you're walking up the hill, that's step one. Once those start to become pretty easy for you, you're not feeling a burn. It's taking longer to get you winded, which is what we want. We want the body to start to adapt to the stress you're putting it under. Then, to continue to see those results, you're going to have to progress to jogging. All right. Once those become easy, Then we progress to
The
sprints.
sprint. Okay, I'm envisioning, remember like Rocky IV when he's like running up the hill before he's going to go fight the Russian?
Oh yeah, we need
like
that
using
soundtrack.
his true, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I always said that he made it so much harder by using all the outdoor
Yeah,
elements.
once you get to the top, I need you to bounce with your arms in the
Yes,
air, okay?
do it, do it.
Yeah, full sprint. There you go, that's it. Knees up high, pushing harder.
Yes.
Exactly.
You made it. I love it. I love it.
Can I barrel roll back?
If you like. That's the best part.
That's great. So how do you feel though? I mean, is that something like if you did 10 of those, you're done?
Yeah, it's good as you can increase your speed. You're definitely working more muscles, just like he said. And you will get winded and feel winded by the time you get done.
I do.
See, you hear the spacing in his voice?
Thank God. I wanted him to feel like we were being hard on him in some way this morning. So, okay, so we're gonna go back inside. We didn't do a warm up, but Kelsey was explaining how kind of using that body weight is the warm up in of itself. But let's talk about the cool down. Like, why is that so important as far as like optimizing? You do all this big workout and you want to make sure that your muscles are really feeling it and you're getting the most out of it.
So a lot of people talk about the research when it comes to the mind, when it comes to exercise. And what happens is once you start to raise your heart rate and you get your central nervous system really fired up for exercise, when you go into your cool down and your stretch, that's when your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in and starting to calm you down and say, okay, we're not getting attacked, we're not fighting for our lives with a lion.
Right.
Let's calm down. And so what happens is your brain starts to release endorphins, and those endorphins calm your body down, calms your mind down, and it's just the same as any other some of the medications we take in order to get yourself to calm down. But it's going to be a natural and healthy way to do that.
I like it, bringing the mind into the workout as well. So let's say that he had done 10 of each of those and he's trying to cool it down. What should he do?
So what I always recommend is getting your hamstrings, because hamstrings are one of the muscles most people pull the most, okay? And so the first thing you're going to do is keep your feet fairly close together, arms are going to be relaxed, and you're going to just reach for your toes. And I don't say touch your toes because it all depends on your flexibility, right? So if you can easily touch your toes, go for it. But at the end of the day, all you gotta do is push your hips back, hinge, keep a soft bend in your knee, don't lock them out, soft bend your knee, and then reach as far as you can. Now, the most important thing is to hold that stretch for about 30 seconds, and that's gonna allow your muscles time to start to relax and lengthen. And usually by that 20-second mark, that's when it's gonna be less painful and a little bit more relaxed in that position. Go ahead and stand up. Next one I would recommend is stretching your groin. So your groin is going to be the inner thigh muscles. So one of the best and easiest ways to do that is to take a super wide stance, as wide as you can go, and then place your hands on the ground. Once you place your hands on the ground, you can probably scoot those feet out just a little bit further. I would just go to whatever range of motion you feel most comfortable with. As soon as you feel the stretch in those in the groin muscles, hold that position. You don't have to continue to go further and further and further. And like I said, the longer you're in that stretch, the muscles are going to start to relax, and that's how you know you're actually lengthening the muscle fibers. Next, I'm gonna have you go ahead and take a seat and lie on your side. You want to look like you are posing for the swimsuit model, you know what I mean? Exactly. Go ahead and rest your hand on your head.
Okay, now this I love.
Right.
I gotta
Yeah,
get a
great
picture of this.
great stretch.
This is the best part of the show right here.
So what you're going to do is on the top leg, you're going to reach and grab your hands going to grab that ankle. You're going to pull your heel up to your glutes. Here we're stretching your quad, okay? So usually you're going to start with your body being in a straight line. You might need to kick this foot forward just for a counterbalance so you don't lose your balance. And we want to feel a stretch right here in the front of our thigh. Now, super flexible people might not feel a stretch right here, so this is when you start to kick that foot further back past behind the shoulders, and at some point you're going to feel a stretch from your hip flexor all the way to your knee. You feel a stretch? Yeah. Beautiful. So you'll do that both sides. Next, I'm going to have you lay on your back. Bend both knees just like you are. Now you're going to cross one foot over the other, doesn't matter which. Perfect, yep. From here, this is a figure 4 stretch. Now, if you have super flexible hips, you're not going to feel a stretch here. If you don't have super flexible hips, like myself, you might start to feel a stretch here. If you want to intensify the stretch, all you have to do is put your hand on your knee and push your knee away from your body. And sometimes that will activate that, put a little pressure on that glute and then you're set to feel a stretch in your gluteus maximus. If you don't feel a stretch, you're going to reach, take this hand, reach between your legs and grab that knee, the front of that knee, and then you're going to pull it all the way up to your chest. And as we can see, his face just changed. That's how we know the stretch was activated. All right, you're going to feel a stretch from the glute and probably even into the top of the hamstring, correct?
Yes, correct.
Absolutely.
Good. Okay, now just stay there for
Now
like
you're
30
giving
minutes.
all the tells.
Exactly. Your face is always going to tell.
So
All right, and you can relax.
while you're finishing that up, we have a question from Marsha, one of our viewers, and Kelsey, come back in and join us, just about what are some of the biggest mistakes you see people make that are beginners, they're trying to they want to start getting active. Is there anything that what are some do's and don'ts?
I would say one of the biggest things is don't rush it. So slower is always better than fast when you're starting an exercise program, meaning just go through your repetitions slow. Again, seeking some help, watching some videos, making sure that you are aware of some of the big cues of some of the movements, like when we were talking about knees and toes and the angles of the arms. Those things are important. And then the third one would be just to not be scared to do it. You know, with body weight exercise, if you're starting slow and you're progressing, it's a very safe way to start.
Yeah, figure out what works. Jeremy has a question, and I do like this, with push-ups. It hurts your wrists a lot, right? So should you do them on your fists? What are some alternatives there? Because I do find that's really painful.
So that is where something like a wall would come in handy. It does not put as much pressure on your wrist. When you go down, you do often see somebody do like a fist, or they could even put their hands on dumbbells sometimes, do I see, because what that does is that keeps your wrist at a straighter position in the push-up as opposed to a hard flex in the wrist. So that is okay as long as, you know, you got brass knuckles that you can, you can do that with. So.
Perfect. Joellen, one of our faithful viewers, good morning to you. She was like, how about we do this once a month? Hawk, you good with this? So we can start teaching people how to kind of incrementally get to, you know, this level. So so we appreciate that. If you actually just came in on the show and you missed the workouts that Kelsey was demonstrating, you can go find these online, go back and watch them, and try it for yourself. So another question from Angela. She says she's driven by here before, and she sees the health system, and then she sees the Sports Performance Center. Who comes here? Who are your clients? So people know, who's this door open to?
I like to say anybody who's breathing is a client here. Our age range ranges from 8 all the way up until
92.
92. All right, so my side, people I train are going to be athletes usually, so I'm in charge of the sports performance program. So if you're training for anything, whether it be any sport or you're just a fitness or lifetime athlete, you would want to train with my staff if you're trying to increase your performance. And then from that point, corrective exercise, I'll let Kelsey talk about the corrective exercise and fitness portion.
Corrective exercise is kind of everybody that's not in his category. So it can be anybody from general population. You don't have anything wrong, you just want to get started. It's a really safe way, a scientific way of getting started. But it can also, chronic pain, illness, you know, corrective exercise really can be for anybody.
Well, and don't be intimidated to come here, because yesterday I was in here and we walked in and there was like a group of like 5-6 guys in their 70s, and they were doing some really great stretches, and they were doing it together as a team. And then you just go right down here and there's like 16, 17-year-old kids and out here on the turf, you know, practicing football moves. So I like that it was just this intertwining of different age groups, everyone coming here for whatever it is they needed. So Kelsey, I found my takeaway today. What was it about we were doing that exercise earlier.
Crunches.
The crunches.
You don't need to do 100. You just need to do
like 20 really good ones. Okay,
yes.
That's what I'm doing. What else do you want people to take away from our episode today?
The biggest thing is just to not make excuses. Again, some people think it's not going to be enough if I do 10 minutes at home. It really is. It's really a good place to start. You can start to tone your muscle. You start to feel better in your movement. So just get started.
Roger, what do you want people to walk away with?
Consistency is key. As Kelsey said, no excuses. Every day we should be using our body, and your body is going to adapt to whatever we put it under. So if you put your body under exercise every single day, your body's going to start to become more efficient at that exercise. That's what it's made to do. So if you want it to be really efficient at sitting around and doing nothing, that's what it's going to do. But if you want it to be able to move well and effectively, you're going to have to move often.
All right, let's bring in our doctor's advice. Doctor's orders. What would you say? I know you already do this, but what would you say to people who, you know, don't want to end up being a patient. How can this really be worked to kind of be preventative?
You know, I think we used to talk about work-life balance. I think that has gone out the window, and I think with most everybody's lives, we just have to talk about balance, just in general life balance. And I think exercise is one way to do that. You have to look for balance in your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, and for a lot of people, it can start with physical exercise. Whether it's weight work, whether it's walking or running outside or doing sprints, or whether it's doing those exercises in their home, those are good starts to help get to that balance, both physically, emotionally, mentally. I know for me, just being outside and walking is more mental health and emotional health than exercise.
Yeah, you've always said that. Just the fresh air, the sunshine, and just a good brisk walk.
Absolutely.
Will do wonders. So thanks for
Thank you.
Thanks for standing in for me today. Yeah, guys.
And I would say for anybody aspiring young athletes or older people who want to just maintain their physical and mental health, this is a great place. We have great resources right here to help train and get the proper technique so that you can do it in a healthy manner as well.
You would know. Thanks for the plug, Hawk.
Thank you.
Good to see you. All right. Thank you all for being with us today. Have a great weekend. Get out there. Use movement as medicine. And we'll see you back here on Monday. Coming up Monday on the Morning Medical Update. When Todd Wiseman's lymphoma returned, his cancer care team needed to try something new, and it came in the form of a clinical trial. I'm Jessica Lovell on the next Morning Medical Update. How someone else's genetically modified cells became the key, plus the waiting game before Todd can say he's cured. Monday at 8.
Subscribe to our Morning Medical Update and Open Mics with Dr. Stites podcast. Now everywhere podcasts are available.